Welcome to my Bears schedule predictions. I'm going to be predicting every single game in the Bears 17-game season. And we are going to start off with the 49ers here with a loss. Look, I think it's going to come out rough. I think the coaching staff's not going to be prepared and ready to take on the 49ers and Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is going to have a big year with George Kittle and Deebo Samuel. So, yeah, and I think Brandon Ayuk will be a very good weapon this season. I think they will, the young secondary that the Bears have, I think they will just torch them. And I don't think they can stay long. Now going to week 2 at the Packers, I have them losing to Aaron Rodgers. No surprise here. It's Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Look, they lost Devontae Adams in the offseason, but they have a very good defense after they drafted really well. I think they just have an overall better team than the Bears. The Bears don't really have, the same amount of, X-factor players that they have. So, yeah, I just don't think that would work out in their favor. Now we are going to go at the Texans. The Texans will be visiting the Bears in week 3. That's a win. Davis Mills, I just don't think he can carry that team. They really don't have a lot of good players. I mean, they drafted Derek Stingley, but I just don't think he's that. He's not going to bring the whole team back together. They're still in a full rebuild, and it's just going to continue to. They're just going to continue to rebuild until their team is better. They lost to Deshaun Watson. No surprise there. He wasn't even playing for him. So, yeah, I think the Bears could win this. They have a better roster and a better overall team. Now, taking on the Giants in week 4, I have the Bears winning at the Giants Stadium. Look, Daniel Jones, not really that good. So, I have them winning. The Giants aren't really that good. They had a good draft, but I still see the Bears winning somehow. I just think the Bears are a better team. And, Brian Daboll's a good coach, but they're just going to keep building as Daniel Jones. I mean, they should just... I think if they go low this season and don't win a lot of games and draft a good QB, they're contenders. They're playoff contenders for sure. But right now, I just don't see them as contenders. And, so... I think the Bears could easily win this one. They had a good draft, though. They drafted Kayvon Thibodeau and, Evan Neal. Yeah, so they had a good draft, but that's about it. I just don't see their full roster coming together this early in the season. Now, we have the Vikings in week 5 at the Vikings. That's an L, yeah. I think the Vikings are having, Justin Jefferson is really, really good, and I think he carries that entire team. Their defense isn't, their defense isn't that good, but Kirk Cousins is going to somehow pull it together against the Bears, and I have a feeling that they will lose this one. With the new coach, Kevin O'Connell, yeah, I think he's just... I'll coach Matt Eberflus. But now, okay, so now for the Commanders, look, they have Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? It's not going to work out as they think. That's a win for the Bears. The Commanders is week 6. Yeah, that's just an easy win. Their defense, yeah, it's all right. Chase Young, Kendall Fuller, Jonathan Allen. It's all right, but it's just not the Bears. I think the Bears have a better roster. Ron Rivera, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't really know. He's really not that good, but yeah, I think Justin Fields will have a really good game against this, low-tier, low-end secondary, and I think he'll feast. Darnell Mooney will put up a 100-yard game, and I think they'll win this one in week 6. Now for the Patriots, I have the Bears losing, but I expect Justin Fields to have a better game than Mac Jones. Look, Mac Jones is a check-down machine. Justin Fields has a insane deep ball, and I just think he'll outperform Mac Jones, as Mac Jones will struggle against the Bears, but the defense will end up carrying him like they did last year, and yeah, I just expect the Bears to outperform on offense, but just their defense won't, their young defense just still won't pull it together and get this win. But it'll be a close game at the Patriots. Somehow the Patriots squeeze this one out. But I think the Bears will be improving week by week, and this will show in this game. Now, for the next game against the Cowboys, at the Cowboys, that's an L. That's just obviously an L. The Cowboys have a great roster. Lost Amari Cooper, but their defense is really good with Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. They're really building that back together. After their defense was really bad in 2020. And now 2021 was really good again, so... Yeah, I just see the Cowboys. They just have a better roster than the Bears, and they can just pull that one out easily. With that one. Now, in Week 9, taking on the Miami Dolphins at the Bears, I have the Bears losing again. Look, this new Miami team is different. They got Javon Holland, who is a really, really good safety last year, who broke out, was really, really good. Um, they just have a good defense overall. I just think they also added Taron Armstead in the offense and Tyreek Hill. And if Tua can break out, look, Tua gets a lot of slander. Look, he underthrows the ball. So let's see if he can pull it together this year. If he can't, I think it's time to draft a new quarterback for Miami. But we're not talking about that today. Look, I think the Bears, this will kind of be a beat. I think they'll lose by a lot. I think they won't be able to pull it together during this game. Justin Fields will still do pretty good. Darnell Mooney will do all right. I think Byron Pringle will have a good game this game. Since they don't, other than Javon Holland, they don't really have the best secondary. So, yeah, I think the Bears will lose this one. Now, in Week 10 against the Lions, I have them winning. Look, the Lions added a good amount of play. Jameson Williams in the draft, Aiden Hutchinson. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Look, the team's coming in together, but I just don't think that it's going to fully come together this season. Maybe by next season, I think they'll draft a quarterback. But, other than that, I think the Bears can win this one. Justin Fields will have a really good game, as he usually does against the Lions, since their secondary is kind of weak as well. Jeff Okudah, really not. Let's start it off now. Week 12? I'm pretty sure. Week 12? Yeah, against the Falcons. Look, Falcons, I'm going to say this is a win at the Falcons Stadium. Look, the Falcons are also a really, really not that good of a team. They got Desmond Ridder, Drake London, who's going to be really good, I think. But yeah, other than that, they're still struggling. Marcus Mariota, I think they're gonna tank a bit this year, and then try and get someone good in the draft, a good quarterback. But I think the Bears can pull this one out. Their roster is really weak, and I think the Bears have an overall better roster than them. And Justin Fields will have another really good game. I think I'll have a really good game this game. Travis Gibson, Marcus Mariota is gonna struggle a bit, or maybe Desmond Ridder might be in at this point. Who knows? But I think the Bears can pull this one out easily against the Falcons. Next, now we have the Jets in Week 12. Falcons last time was Week 11. I was wrong. My fault. Now, Jets, Zach Wilson, I don't think he's that good. This is a win for the Bears at the Jets Stadium. Look, the Jets, they're not really that good. Look, they had a great draft. Sauce Gardner, who I think is going to be really good. But yeah, they still need to add some pieces to their roster. They have Elijah Moore, who I think is going to be really good. They have Michael Carter. They got Breece Hall, who's also good. But other than that, I think the Bears will somehow pull this one out easily against the Jets. I think this will be a really good game for Justin Fields, who have a good connection, I feel, with Cole Kmet in this game after, other than Sauce Gardner, their secondary, you know what I mean? Their linebackers, not that good. So, yeah, I think that the Bears can pull this one off easily and win this one. Cole Kmet, I think, will go for 95 yards this game. Will have a really good game and show his breaking out kind of as he breaks out throughout the season and improves. So, yeah, this is a win for the Bears. Now, against the Packers. This is another loss. Look, it's at the Bears, but, it just continues the narrative. Aaron Rodgers is always just going to beat the Bears. It's really hard to beat him. And I think he will continue to absolutely destroy the Bears. I'm going to give a score prediction for this game. I'm going 35, all touchdowns, to 21. I think that'll be the score for this game. It'll be kind of, the Bears, they'll score, I think the Packers will score 14 right away, and then they'll go into kind of a dry. They won't they'll stop scoring, but then the Bears will score twice and tie it up. But then in the third quarter, the Packers will just blow them away and end up winning the game. Yeah, so I don't think the Bears can win this one. Justin Fields will struggle during this game. I think you get that. Their new defense is actually starting to get really good. I think the Bears defense will do really good this game, though. I think their secondary will start, just start playing better and gaining that chemistry. I think they will, throughout the season, they'll just continue to get a lot of chemistry going on and, just build a really good secondary for the Bears. Yeah, but I think this one's a loss. Now for the Eagles. Eagles will be coming to Chicago this year. I think this one is a win. Look, I know that's a surprise to everyone. The Eagles had a good draft. They got A.J. Brown. That trade with the Titans. Now the Titans have Traylon Brooks. But look, I think the Bears can win this one easily. I think the Bears defense will continue from the Packers game and come together to stop Jalen Hurts and it'll stop A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Rieger. I think they'll be able to come together and stop this team. And this is a win for the Bears. Their defense will perform really well, and Justin Fields will have a good passing game. I think the Bears can overall win this one. My score prediction for this one will be, let's go 31-17. That's my prediction for this game. So I have the Bears winning this one against the Eagles at home. Yeah. Now for the Bills. The Bills will be coming to the Chicago. This is just obvious. I mean, who expects the Bears to be the Bills? That is a loss. Look, the Bills are a really good, really good team. And look, Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'd say top 2 in my opinion. Number 1 is Patrick Mahomes. Actually, no. I'm sorry. Josh Allen is number 3 on my list. I have Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, Josh Allen, then Brady. I think no. That's just for this year. I just don't like Brady. I think Brady's gonna take a step back, even though everyone thinks he's the GOAT. Yeah, I think he's gonna take a step back this year. But the Bears will lose to the Bills. I think the Bills just have a better coaching staff and roster than the Bears, and they will just outperform them. Justin Fields will struggle against the Bills, and Tre'Davious White will have 2. Now for the Lions, the Bears will be visiting the Lions late in the season, and I have a loss here for the Bears. I think the Lions will start bringing it together at the end of the season. They'll get their chemistry starting, even though Jared Goff will be leaving probably next season after they draft a quarterback. But I think the Bears will struggle against the Lions in this game. Justin Fields will have a good game, but I think the wide receivers won't do that good. I feel like Darnell Mooney might get hurt this season. I don't know. It's a bad gut feeling. I really hope he doesn't, but I feel like he'll be hurt during this game, and Justin Fields will just struggle to find weapons to throw to. And I feel like at this point the Bears fans will be hoping for a good draft pick, so this might excite them at that point. But yeah, that's a loss at the Vikings. And now we have the Vikings. It's a classic at this point at home. The Bears are always playing the Vikings in the last game of the season, and it's a loss for me. It just continues. The Bears always lose to the Vikings in the last game. I think it'll be like the same game in Week 5. I think the Bears will just struggle against them. And Justin Jefferson, they always struggle against Justin Jefferson. Jalen Johnson will put up a good game, and Jaquan Brisker will have a pick, but I still don't think they'll be able to pull this one out. Dalvin Cook will have a really good game, and I just don't think the Bears will win this one. My score predictions for the Vikings last game of the season will be, let's think, 24-10. I think this will be a low-scoring game, defensive game, but I think they'll lose. And that is my final. I think the Bears will end up going 7-10, and they will draft a wide receiver in the next draft, and this will just be a coming together, just a new start for the Bears, a fresh new start, getting away from the Matt Nagy era, and